Hello, I'm Vara,
And I'm Roxy.
and you're listening to VCR. Hey, Roxy, how are we feeling today?
Oof, great. I feel great.
Someone decided to go out and pretend they were 20 again, and
Yeah. And then I woke up and my body was like, bitch, you are not 20.
you are at least 50.
The way I feel today, I
Yeah,
feel like I might be 60. I don't
just
know.
just aged yourself a little
I
more.
really did. I aged myself a lot of bit last
Oh
week.
my God. And being the good, Mexican Americans that we are, she's curing it with menudo and
Mhm.
other fun
Mezcalito
stuff.
and agua frescas.
Yes. And she's gonna go off and take a gander of the Rocky Horror Picture Show here, because it's, of course, getting closer to Halloween. So
Yay,
yay!
Halloweeny, Halloween skis.
Halloween skis coming up very soon here. So speaking of Halloween skis, we went out and reviewed Terrifier 3. It was good. I'm gonna say it was good. It was a little bit different from the other two. It is a straight continuation of the whole story, because clearly
Mhm.
it's a trilogy, and now it's about to become more than a trilogy.
Mhm.
Because they leave it wide open for part four, and they even kind of give you what the plot is to be in the fourth installment here. But
Yeah.
let's jump into it. Roxy, how did you feel about Terrifier 3?
I freaking loved it. It was disgusting. It
it
was so gross, but I loved it. Like
it
you
does not
saw
just
me when we got there, I was in the chair just dancing. I was so happy. I was like, "Yay, Terrifier!"
Yes, she really was like all kinds of happy and ready for it, and just super excited, as
Yeah,
I was too. I could not complain. It was a good film. I just have a few notes, that's all.
just
just just a few minor notes. But for those of you who are wondering, so Terrifier 3 is a 2024 film, came out just last month, still doing strong in the box office. It's for any of you who are
just last
curious.
week, not month, last week.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, last week. Duh, I don't know what is wrong with my head. So
I
yes,
don't know either.
it's out. It is really really I'm gonna say really good movie. Um and I'm sorry, you are right. The release date was October the 11th. And the budget, so this is kind of interesting. The budget was 2 mil. So they made the movie for 2 mil. And I want to say this has grossed in
And opening
over,
weekend, it was like 18 million.
yeah, so
I
this
was
is,
like, that's great for an independent film.
I mean, really is, because the other two didn't gross nearly as much. But I'm going to tell you, it's really picked up steam. It really has. But then again, I'm going to say this too. There were not a whole lot of movie competitions going on with Terrifier 3. In fact, I think there was really nothing that exciting happening in the movies at all. Like I
No,
can't think of
I
any
don't
other,
think.
yeah, I can't think of any other movies that were very exciting right now,
Yeah.
that could compete with it. So, well, no, I'm lying. Beetlejuice is still out and it's still doing strong, but that came out really strong when it came out. And that's what I was thinking. That came out in September.
Yeah.
So, and then you have the Joker movie, which is just a massive flop.
Yeah, that
So
poor movie.
its main competitions have already opened. So Joker was a flop right off the bat.
Hmm.
Beetlejuice was the big one, and that came out early, so it didn't have that stiff competition. So Terrifier 3 gets to stand on its own, and it has done very well with its openings, and the story and the plot was pretty good too. So let's jump into it. So it is a continuation of one and two, starring Mr. Art the Clown and whatever the hell he is. Still trying to figure that out.
Demon. He's a demon. He's possessed by a demon.
He's a demony type of thing. And see, so I got confused. Is it Art who is possessed by the demon, or it was the girl who was possessed by a demon, right? And Art is a demon?
I think he is a demon. I think there's an entity in him, but he has to have like a host, which is why he was using that other girl.
Okay. All right. So this sounds right. It's interesting. It's really, really confused, because I remember them talking about, they, like a demon, and uh, basically needing a host, and a psychopath would be great, and he was definitely the psychopath.
Hmm.
So Art starts off
Definitely.
as a psychopath and then ends up getting possessed, I guess, and then this girl gets possessed along with her type of thing. So anyway, with him, so it gets complex there. You really got to pay attention for that setup
Yeah,
because I was kind of all engrossed with all the gore and everything else. The movie does not lack for gore, that is for
at
sure.
all.
It
Does
is
not lack.
gore all the
Let me
way.
let me just say, I will not be eating chicken for a long time.
Yeah, that was
I
very
no
apparent.
drumsticks for me, thank you. No. Uh, we had, and remember we went to get wings before we went to see that. And then when we were finished, I was like, here, take these. Like, I cannot eat these.
Yeah, absolutely. So at the end of the movie, when we're heading back to the car, she gave me her wings, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm
I'm
not
not gonna eat
eating
you.
these." And I was like, "Okay." So
I was like, it was the leg part, the part where he pulls the leg off.
yeah, just like,
And that song got like as soon as he held the leg up, I think he was looking at it or
hmm
something. And my brain just went chicken wing, hot dog and bologna. I was like, ew, gross. Like
Oh,
I cannot eat chicken wings anymore.
so yeah, I ended up. That was how gross it was. It was, I think gore wise, I want to say the second one was more gorier than three, is what I want to say.
There's a lot more blood and killing in this one,
hmm
but I think as far, yeah, like with gore, that last one was bad.
Yeah, the body count is higher in this one, I believe,
Yeah,
but
for sure.
like the gore factor and the shock factor, you get that a strong kick from two. Three, it does have gore moments, but nothing like what two was. There is this ultimate shower scene thing, spoilers, of course, uh, where
Mhm.
this guy and girl are being intimate in the shower, and then Art breaks in with a chainsaw, and he's cutting the guy open from his butt all the way up type of thing. And
And he flips him over and does it the other way.
yeah, and then he starts all over again, and then he
Oh
smashes
God.
up the girl, and so the whole thing is it's gore, tons of violence. If you're
Hmm.
not into it, this is definitely not for you. But let's kind of talk a little bit more about the plots that we've kind of discovered in this one. Well, no, let's stay on the gore and fighting for a moment. Um, so for that scene, like where he's cutting up the guy in the shower and all this, I'm gonna say the one of the couple of notes that I have for the movie is that they really milked the scenes more
Oh
in this
yeah.
one.
They
Like,
the kill scenes drug on a little bit longer than
yeah, they drug on very long, and not just very long, but like it was to the point where I was kind of sitting there and I was feeling, and I was like, this is way too long of a scene. Like they could have trimmed this up, and they didn't.
they really could have. They could have shortened some of those,
Yeah, like the
especially that
shower.
shower scene. Like
Mhm.
that went a little long.
Yeah, that went on long, and then the torture scenes between the Art and our main heroine, that went on forever. That really did go on forever. I was like, do something. I think that was the other complaint that I kind of had that me and Roxy were talking about earlier, is that, she's supposed to be this warrior angel, apparently. So our
Hmm.
heroine is a warrior angel. And you get that if you've seen part two. You
Yeah.
know that that's what's happening, that she is a warrior angel. But the issue here is it is taking way too long for her to discover her powers and start really
Yeah.
kicking ass, because she wasn't really effective or like starting to fight until the end of the movie.
Hmm.
And even then it was okay, kind of battle type of situation. Um so that part was a little like they could have done more. They could have sped that up a little bit more. They could have
I
given it a
liked how
bigger
he kept
presence.
I liked how he kept smacking her on the back of the head.
Yes. Yes. So
That was funny.
Sienna Shaw played masterfully by Lauren Lavera. Uh,
Hmm.
and again, I'm floored every time I see this woman in anything
Yeah.
because, she is a much older woman. And now, okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. She looks like she's a teenager or very young 20s.
Hmm.
Now, I'm going back online and riddle me this. Nah, uh, riddle me this. Last year when we checked, her age was 40, right?
Right. It was like
Okay,
40 something.
okay, so now it's saying her age is 30. So someone's flipping something up here.
Yeah.
Because last year when we checked this, it said that she was 40.
Yeah. Because I was like, what? We're the same age? Wow, she looks
Ye-
good.
And she looked spectacular and amazing and
Yeah.
gorgeous. And now it's trying to say she's 30. I don't know if they're just kind of
Hmm.
doing that, but that's definitely not what we saw last time. And
Nope.
there's two of us to verify that.
Yeah.
So someone's fucking around with some digits on this thing. But anyway,
Yeah.
we'll let her tell it. So she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, she's 30, she looks like she's barely fucking 19. But she's a masterful in playing this part. Just like the guy who plays Terrifier or Art the Clown,
Hmm.
David Howard Thornton. For a silent actor, he is just amazing at
So
doing
good.
this. He is the way he conveys uh everything with his facial movements, his eyes, he's brilliant at it. But I am going to
Mhm.
say for the character of Sienna Shaw, they really could have made that a little bit beefier by now. Because
Yeah.
I started to get really annoyed with the I'm just a little after a little bit because she didn't start becoming a little bit more badass until the very end, and then it's over, where they completely leave it wide open for part four. So we
Hmm.
know part four is coming.
Oh, and I can't wait.
Yes, yes, absolutely. But they better bring it in part four because we're
Man, for
getting kind of,
real.
yeah, this is
They
this.
better, it better be Brighton.
Mhm. It really does need to. And but I will say this, they had some really cool guest stars in this movie, and one of them comes from part two. But Chris Jericho, who has a small
Yes.
role in here, he is a guest star in it. And Tom Sorvini is a guest star who I was all kinds of geeking out on.
Yeah, you
And
were.
and Roxy was like, "Who the fuck is
I was
that?
like, what?
Who the hell are you talking about?"
I'm like, what guy? That guy?
Yeah, so Tom Savini is just a master horror legend, and he is just a great creator of many, many iconic, m- how do I put this? Uh, faces of horror type of
Oh,
situation.
yeah.
So a lot of the masks, a lot of the uh, makeup, things like that. He is the creator of. He's been involved in things such as Night of the Living Dead from Dusk Till Dawn. He was in Dusk Till Dawn, the original as Sex Machine, the guy who has
Hmm.
the gun thing as his crotch piece. He was Creep Show, Army of the Dead, Creep Show 2. He's just a brilliant, brilliant man. So that was another guest appearance in there, and it was a short guest appearance type of thing. But absolutely brilliant. So you have some really interesting just kind of pop-ups here and there that you're kind of like, oh my God, this person's in there. So it was very
Oh,
cool.
wow.
Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Uh, and then you kind of have a newcomer to the whole situation. Uh, Louisiana Alicia uh, Caneros, who is Selena Shaw, who is the niece.
Yeah, yeah,
She's
yeah.
she's the girl you refer to as being. She's so annoying because she's
She
a little
was annoying.
There's a little kid going through everyone's stuff, reading the diaries. opening up Christmas presents, stuff
She
like
got
that.
backhanded so quick by me.
Yeah, she
I
really
already got
would
kicked
have.
out of the house.
Yeah, beaten with a belt.
For
Uh
real.
truly a for a young actress, she was really, really good.
Yeah, she
And
did good. She
coming
did a really
off
good
as an
job.
annoying child type of
Yeah, she played
situation.
that well.
Yes, she really did. They finally killed off one of the actors, or the characters that kind of annoyed me, which is Jonathan Shaw, which is her
Oh, the brother?
yeah, the brother, Elliot Fullman, who's I mean, he's played well by him, but the thing is, I think what annoyed me is he was such a weakling
Yeah, he
character.
was a whiny little bitch.
He was such a whiny little bitch that it annoyed me, and I'm like, this has to end at some point. And it did. Thank you, writers.
That's crazy too, and how
It,
they I I'm a little upset that they didn't show how he was killed or how he was caught.
yes, very true.
Like that part, they should instead of extending that shower scene, they should have put that scene in. Like, how did
Yeah,
you get him? How did you
exactly.
kill him?
I think, but I think that's part of the whole plot there because, like, they lead Selena to believe, oh, look what we did to your niece, ha 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 ha, and really it's not the niece, it's her
Hmm.
brother, and then it's ha 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 ha, and then the niece pops up. So it would have spoiled the moment to have seen it because,
I guess, but I
it's
hope
supposed to
they
be a
put it in
surprise
the
for all
next
of us.
one.
Huh?
I said, I hope they put it in the next one. You know how they do the flashback scenes?
Oh yeah, they're gonna do it.
I hope
Or he's
so. I want to
or
see. I want to know.
because what's happening here, and again, big spoilers, so if you don't want to hear it, too bad. Uh the issue is like at the end, so this is where things actually you get more of a plot because between the beginning to almost the end, it's Selena is out of the mental hospital, right?
Sienna.
Sienna is out of the mental hospital,
Hmm.
and she's coming back home to live with her aunt and her uncle, and it's Christmas time, they're trying to be normal, but she's having these visions and seeing art, and it's becoming very difficult for her, and it's becoming difficult for the family and all this other stuff. And her niece is just in love with her, though. Her niece is absolutely in love with her.
Like
And
obsessed with her.
yes, absolutely obsessed. And some town members are obsessed with her too because she survived. She's one of the few survivors of the clown killings.
Yeah.
Um, but until then, up until this alleged fight scene, it's pretty much just killing and
Allegedly.
gore. It's just killing and gore type of thing. And then we get to the capturing of Sienna and the torturing of her by Art, where we start getting a little bit more of a reveal as to what the fuck is going on, because until then it's just a slaughter fest. It really is.
Right.
And then at that point, this is where we learn, and it's reinforced from part two, that Sienna is she's a warrior angel of some sort.
Hmm.
Her sword is indestructible, can vanquish anything. And then what ends up happening is that we see that she defeats the female demon, cuts her head off, but by cutting her head off, her blood is eaten through the floor and has
Hmm.
opened a portal to hell. The niece accidentally falls through the portal to hell. And so this is the epic fight between Sienna and Art.
Yeah.
Wasn't as epic as you'd think.
Not really. They
There,
could have
because
done a
there's a
lot
lot
more
more
with
she
it.
could
But
have been.
it was a good fight, I guess.
It was okay. And then to me, there's just a lot more that could have been done in that fight that wasn't done in that fight.
Yeah.
And I think there are some dumb moments too, like where she grabs the sword to try to help save her niece.
That I was like, really,
Like,
the sword, and
yeah,
you're
out
gonna
of
hold
all
it.
things you could have lowered down there to try to help her, you're gonna do the sword thing. Like, did not make a whole lot of sense to
That
me.
was dumb. That
Yeah,
part, I was like, why? Why would you grab the sword?
because they could have showed that she was able to heal herself in other ways. Because of course,
Hmm.
the blade's cutting open Sienna's hand and then it heals itself. Like, you could have done that in any other way. It didn't have to
Didn't
be
they
in
cover
that way.
that in the last movie?
They should have done that in the last movie, and then she wouldn't have had those scars. Because remember, they kept remarking about her scars. I was like, well, then why didn't
Well,
it heal up then?
she can't heal up from any injury. She can heal up from an injury caused by the sword. The
Man,
sword cannot injure her.
I
It'll
guess
kill
so.
anything, but it won't hurt her.
Yeah, I feel there's a lot of loopholes in this
Yeah.
thing. So what ends up happening is, of course, this allows Art to escape, which sets up our part four, and it reveals more about her powers and everything.
Hmm.
And then, but you have flashing back this conversation between her and her dad, where, you kind of get a little bit more of an insight into Sienna. But
Hmm.
anyway, Nice in hell, or possibly the ninth circle of hell, because it kind of tells you that a little later. Art gets on a bus, and there's a woman on the bus, and she's reading this book called The Ninth Circle of Hell. And so it just sets up the next movie, part four, which is clearly going to be, you know, Sienna having to go into the ninth circle of hell
Yeah,
in order
obviously,
to
she got to go
save
get her
her
niece.
her niece. Um, so there's that. And any thoughts from you there, Roxy, on that?
On what? The ninth circle of hell?
Or no, the whole thing.
The next one?
Oh, or any of it, really?
I mean,
Just
I've
asking you in
already said
general.
my piece. Like, I liked it. I enjoyed it. I don't, there was just a few things that I just like could have done without. And, I want to know, like, how did he, like, the husband? How did they get the husband? I mean, I knew they were going to get him because
Hmm.
when he was going to pick up old buddy and he called him to see where he was, like, you could tell that was Art that was answering the phone.
Hmm. Yeah, you could, and
But
then it
I'm like,
was,
but how did they get him though?
yeah, clearly he went into the dorm or that house, and then Art
Like, but
tore
well,
him
I
up.
don't think, see, and that's, I don't know. Maybe he didn't. Maybe they came out to the car. I have
Mhm.
questions.
And just to let y'all know a little bit, going into a little bit of Dante's Inferno here. With that, there are nine circles to hell according to the Divine Comedy that the writer Dante wrote. Uh, and the ninth circle is actually sin itself. But in the ninth circle, it's a frozen lake where half of you is frozen into the lake. And, it doesn't go into I'm not reading a whole lot as to what's happening to you. Oh, here we are. Each of the nine circles in hell represents a different sin, each with its own degree of wickedness. The punishment which is revealed to each sin is inflicted in the corresponding circles. As Dante travels through each circle, he encounters notable figures from history who were guilty of sins. So, anyway, that's a little bit of Dante's
But do you
Inferno
think they're going
there.
to use that?
They're going to use a very loose version of it, I'm
Right, that's,
sure, you know.
I'm sure.
So it's going to be one of those kind of things.
I wonder, like now I'm already thinking about it. Like, how is she gonna get into ninth? Like, if she
Well,
can't
if
just
she
jump into that hole because like that
at
gate, it
some
looked like that gateway closed.
yeah, it did, but the thing is like so at some point because she is a warrior angel, I'm sure there's going to be one of the things that
And she
is
can
going
travel
to just
between
kind of like,
worlds.
yeah. So eventually that's going to
Gonna have
have to
to astral
happen.
project or something.
Some weird thing like that. I'm sure they'll come up with something
Yeah.
like that in order to figure it out. So it's
Mhm.
just one of those things.
I don't know the
So
whole.
it's one of those, how do I put it? Just gonna be one of those weird plots that they're gonna like, oh my God, she discovers she can fart, and when she farts, it opens up a gate to hell and
Oh
she
my
walks through it.
God.
You know?
That would be
Ah,
funny though.
uh, I'm kidding, but the weird thing is, watch that actually happen.
That would be so funny.
Ah.
Like it's very campy. I don't think it'll be that campy.
Well, it's getting pretty campy. So the nice thing about it is they kept a lot of that 80s kind of film feel through it again, which is something that I appreciate. The fact that
Hmm.
they do continue to kind of keep that constant. So I like that.
Yeah.
That grainy kind of film look throughout the whole thing.
Yes.
It was great. It was really, really great.
I,
Um, so I think it's just really good that they do that. The acting is still that cheesy, campy 80s kind of
hmm.
acting, which is brilliantly done by all the actors. They've all done a great job of kind of keeping that, especially the little girl, because like it really is that cheesy kind of whole, oh my God, I did that type of thing. And and so she does good with that. So the cheesy 80s acting, the cheesy 80s look, all that was wonderful, which I really, like I said, I really appreciated that. That they kept that kind of consistency with it. But the plot, like I said, is pretty simple. Art comes back, art's creating mayhem. You don't get a real sense of a plot until the end, where it kind of
hmm.
reveals a little more. But the only thing it's really revealing is that, hey, part four is coming.
Yeah.
And I think through the movie, it kind of hints at this is going to be a continuation during that Halloweeny Christmas type of movie. Now, you were saying how you want this is now major Christmas
Oh
rotation.
yeah. This is definitely going to be in my Christmas rotation.
Yeah, because the whole movie takes place during Christmas and all this other stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
And I love a good Christmas horror movie, so this is
Oh
great.
yeah. And this is a good one.
Hmm.
So it's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go with it. Like I said, we have an idea of plot, but how are they going to make that plot happen? And two, are
Hmm.
they going to finally butch up Sienna? Because I'm getting tired of the little
You know what I'm saying? Like, make
pooping.
her, she's supposed to be strong. Make
She's supposed
her
to be
fucking kick his ass
badass.
already.
Yeah, she's supposed to be badass, a warrior. I feel
Stop
like
making her this little weak bitch.
bring it. Fucking bring it already. You
Like,
know,
I liked what I was seeing where she was starting to get aggressive. I'm like, yeah, there it
mhm.
is. Keep that going.
And then boom.
A badassery hit. Like,
Yeah.
let it be.
Then absolutely boom, it kind of falls off and it's like,
Yeah, I was like, oh, come
oh.
on.
Yeah, it just gives you a tease. Just a tease. And it's not a very
Yeah.
good tease. What were you gonna
I'm
say?
also was laughing because remember he like banged up her hands like real bad and she couldn't open the gift. I'm like, how
Mhm.
are you all of a sudden able to like fight
Open
this
it.
thing now
Hmm.
and grab your sword and hold it for her to pull it? Like, your hands are fucked.
Yeah. Healing powers that we didn't get revealed. And see, that's the thing. That's where you have some loopholes and some things that either were not polished out very well in the script, or it was just like, eh, it's at that 80s like inconsistency of
Right.
plot and thought, which is either very brilliant or very bad on their part. It's either great writing as a tribute to 80s horror, or it's just like sloppy writing. It's one of the two.
I wonder if the next one's gonna be like stay in the Christmas theme because it's still Christmas Day when it ends.
I think that's what's
Well,
going to
actually, I don't even think it's
happen.
Christmas Day yet. I think it's like Christmas Eve or something.
It could very well be. I think that is what's going to happen is like they're going to continue it type of situation. But then
Hmm.
again, they may not because where we pick up in this movie, it's been
Oh, like 5 years
5 years
something, right?
later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 years later. So is that going to happen again? Is she going to do another 5 years in a mental institution? What's going to happen? Don't know. But what I do know is that I am still going to see part four.
Oh,
Part
for
four
sure.
needs to bring it because after that, I was telling Roxy, you can probably squeeze out two more movies, but you got to bring it within these two
Oh,
movies.
yeah.
Because
And
after
then you have
that,
to kill him off because you
yeah,
can't just keep dragging this out.
exactly, because after that, then it becomes very campy. It becomes very Friday the 13th, where it's like, Jason in outer
Freddy and Jason in
space.
outer
And
space.
it's like, that was crap. That was stupid. It was crap. It was just, I can't even say that was cheesy. It was just dumb. But
Like,
after a certain point, you get to that. because you're
Yeah.
trying to continue, and it's like you run out of storyline when you
And
should
I
have
really
killed
need
them
them
off.
to just do it because I don't want to start like I don't want to get tired of him. You know, like
Yeah, I
I
mean,
love him. I don't
make
want to
it a
get tired of him.
classic because there's a lot going on here. Like, there's a precursor to this, Terrifier, which is All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
So this is where we first see Art. I have not seen it. I know Roxy
It
has
is
seen it.
creepy.
Really?
Creepy. Like it takes a lot to creep me out. I was like, ooh, it's creepy.
Does
It
it
was
give you a
yeah.
little backstory to Art or not really? We just see Art.
You just that there's not really a backstory, but you just see where like how, I guess kind of like you see where he comes from,
Mm-hmm.
like how he comes about, but it doesn't really say like how he was created or anything.
Okay. All right. Very cool.
It's really creepy. You should watch it. I highly recommend.
I'll have to break it down and watch it because then you start off with All Hallows Eve, then you get into Terrifier, then Terrifier 2, now we're at
Hmm.
Terrifier 3. So technically there's four movies out, but only three of the Terrifier name. And now we're about to go into the fourth one. And the
Hmm.
fourth one, like I said, is really going to have to bring it because, you can't keep milking it. Because even with Halloween,
Hmm.
they ended it at some point, but it did get campy because
Hmm.
they took it too far.
Yeah.
And the thing is, this is meant to be campy. Maybe it is meant to be taken too far, but you're not going to have people constantly come back on this one. I think, like I said, two at most, and then you're done.
And we need another scene that's gross, like the mashed potato scene.
Yes, the mashed potato scene from part two is still the goriest and best one out of all of them.
So bad.
They
Oh,
tried in this one. I can see the trying, but nothing really competes to the mashed potato
no.
scene in part two. So that was just way better, if you ask me.
Yeah.
But altogether, it is a go see. It is
Yes.
funny. It's so dumb and cheesy. The
Yes.
kills, you're gonna laugh. I
We
laughed.
did. I'm like, we
We
laughed.
were laughing. There's someone in the back who was laughing. Others were not so much laughing.
No, there was a lot of
No.
uh. And
The
then
girl
with
sitting
us
next to
cackling
me was,
away.
yeah, the girl sitting next to me was kind of a little like, but then again, I don't know what their ages were. They all looked pretty young, but I noticed they would keep leaving. And I think it was just because the, it wasn't just to refill the popcorn. I think they just need a moment away from the screen. That group of girls who was sitting next to us, I
Oh
think it's
yeah,
just
down at the
literally
end.
that. Yeah. But I thought it was funny. It was good. It's entertaining. I only had one jump scare in it, and that's when the dad hands her the portrait and they have this vision type of thing. There's a noise jump scare, but
Oh
everything else
yeah.
is fine. But that noise, that was good. It really did, like, ooh, it jolted me. And I know
Yeah.
me and Roxy have seen other movies together. I've never jolted before. That one jolted me.
Hmm.
So I was like, that was well done. So definitely something to go check out. So it's
Definitely.
a thumbs up for me.
Two thumbs up for me.
Yep, it is. So definitely go check it out. And if you want to share your thoughts on Terrifier 3, definitely do that. Send it to us to the VCR show at gmail.com and check out our Insta and Twitter at the VCR show. And also definitely check out our website that's never updated, thevcrshow.com, and YouTube, our YouTube channel, guess what, at the VCR show. And then you can always follow the lovely Miss Roxy and try to figure out what she's doing for Halloween, other than going to Purge costume parties and Rocky Horror Picture Show events. You can invite her to your spooky event at
Yeah.
her social medias, which are.
On Facebook at Roxy Perez Curvy Model, on Instagram at PopRox428, and on TikTok at the PopRox. And PopRox is spelled POPROXX.
And as always, I'm Vada,
And I'm Roxy.
and you've been listening to VCR.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. You have been listening to VCR, creative content by Richard Christopher Vada and Roxy Perez. Logo by Richard Christopher Vada with assistance from Annie Ramirez. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can reach us at thevcrshow at gmail.com or our social medias at Instagram and Twitter at the VCR Show. And you can also check out our content at thevcrshow.com. The show's song is Addict by Nefex, instrumental, and you can find them on YouTube Music Library.